So today we're going to be working on our 1993 Dodge W250 with the Cummins turbo diesel. And what we're going to be doing today is a manual grid heater conversion, and we're going to be converting it to a push button or starter button, so you can just hold it and then start your truck instead of having it going on and off all the time. This could be helpful for people who are doing a conversion and don't want to mess with like the ignition switch, etc. Or people who have bought a truck and their wiring is a disaster. And I'll show you what this truck's wiring looks like. Alright, so all you're going to need to do this is you're going to want to have an inline fuse, and I'm using a 20 amp fuse for that, a momentary switch, so it only goes off when you hold it in. It's also a starter switch, just some 14 gauge wire, you know, your connections, all that to hook it up, and then obviously some heat shrink wrap to make sure the weather doesn't get at it, etc. And obviously you're going to need, you know, your tools, electrical tools to put it all together. So as you can see, the wiring in this truck is a complete mess, but that's not the reason why I bought this truck. It's because of this 12 valve right here. But as you can see, there's butt connector. People have gone in here and replaced a whole bunch of shit, and you know, it's not looking too good. But we're going to be replacing these wires and in for our own. The grid heater does actually work. As you can see, it runs up and it's connected like that. But we're just going to be replacing the small wires here and then we're going to put it into the dash where our switch is going to be mounted. So, and then it'll work from there. So before you start any of the wiring, you want to find a spot where you're going to put your switch. I think I'm going to mount mine right here, right below the stereo, and it's out of the way, and I'm not going to bump into it while I'm driving. Or you could put it, you know, you can mount it somewhere in here, doesn't really matter. But as long as you know your foot's not gonna, or knee's not gonna touch it, and then while you're driving, and then you're gonna have your grid heaters running all the time, and then you're gonna burn them up. So this is our grid heater relay, and just remember how this looks. Now I'll show you a wiring diagram of what it's going to look like. So this is my really simple and bad wiring diagram. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our battery, and we're gonna run a power cable all the way up to our switch in our dash, and then from there that switch is going to go back to our relay, and then that one is also going to jump to the second relay, and then we're going to have two grounds, so one from the first that jumps to the second, and then that goes to the battery negative to ground it, and then obviously your relays go to your grid heater. Well, that's so it gets power to tell the grid heater to start sucking juice from the battery, and that's what it's going to look like right now, or after we finish. So there's two terminals on the relays, and there's one for your power and one for your ground, and then another power ground. So all we're going to do is take this one to the power and then jump it to the next power on the second relay, and same for ground, and then back to the battery. So that's what we're going to do. Also, we're going to have our inline fuse just off our battery, so it's easy to access. So I just finished putting everything back together, and as you can see, they're new wires. We have, this is our ground, and then this jumps to the next one, and then same for this one right here. It jumps all the way around to the power, and that power goes into the dash to the switch, and then this wire is from the switch to the battery, well, to an inline fuse, which is to the battery, and this one's the ground that goes to the ground. Now, if you look in here, this is my switch. That's shitty soldered on, and then when you push it in, you're gonna hear the grid heater going, and put the keys in, and as you can see the volts, and I'll hit the button and it works. So that's how you put a momentary switch or starter switch instead of your regular grid heater on your ignition, and that's how you put a switch in. So thank you. Bye.